Hey, I found my guitar tuner.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first ever episode of Are You the Goober? This is our new podcast. My name is Belle, and my lovely husband is my co host.
Hello, everyone. My name is Roberto with a double R.
And we're just wanting to join this podcast universe to join in the fun of the subreddit AITH, Are You the Goober? And we'll be covering some stories just about friendships today. And the first story is, am I the goober for telling my friend I'm not interested in her baby or being involved in her new mom life? This story is by AD Formal 2615. I, 29 female, have been child-free my whole life. I've never wanted kids. I never liked being around kids. I don't even like holding babies. It's not a phase or trauma or anything like that. I'm just not wired that way. I've always said I don't want to be a mom or have anything to do with parenting. One of my closest friends from college, let's call her Anna, 30 female, recently had a baby. She always wanted kids, so I'm happy for her. I even got her a baby shower gift and dropped off food when she came home from the hospital. But now she's acting like I'm supposed to shift my entire lifestyle to fit around her new baby and her life as a mom. She keeps making comments like, "You'll change your mind one day," or "You'll be a cool auntie," or "Wait until you hold her, she'll melt your heart." I just laugh it off, but it's getting annoying. She even started sending parenting videos and baby milestone photos every other day. I don't react and she just keeps pushing. Last week, she invited me to a mom and friends gathering at her house, and I politely said no. I don't enjoy being around kids and I don't want to spend my Saturday around babies and diapers. She told me she needed support and I said I should be there for her now that things are hard. That's when I finally confessed my feelings that I care about her, but I don't want to be involved in baby stuff. I didn't want to be a babysitter. I'm still a friend, but nothing has changed on my end. She got really quiet and just said, "Wow, okay." She hasn't talked to me since, and now one of our mutual friends said Anna's feelings are really hurt. She apparently cried and told people I'm cold and made her feel abandoned. I didn't mean to be harsh, but I also feel like I was honest. I didn't insult her or the baby or her parenting. I just don't want to be involved. I didn't sign up to be a second mom just because I don't have kids of my own. It feels like being child-free means I have all this free time and no emotional limits. I'm allowed to set boundaries too. So now I'm wondering if I was too blunt. Am I the goober?
Okay. In the sense that she doesn't want to be around kids, I can absolutely understand that. But I think she's being a little too harsh. You know what I mean?
Well,
I get it. You don't want to be there, but your friend is also going through a new stage and she's excited. She clearly cares about you and wants to share that with probably everyone that ever says hello to her. So I just feel the Redditor is being a little too harsh, if you ask me.
I do agree in setting boundaries. I'm 100% okay with that. We all need the boundaries. It's just, I also had to say it from her friend's point of view. Being a mom does change your life so dramatically. It's no longer you or your spouse. It's all about the baby. And it will take forefront over friendships, in my opinion. That's how I would handle having a child. So her friend entering that stage of life, I feel for me, it's completely normal to want to have your baby involved. This is a very exciting stage for a lot of new moms, new parents in general. So I understand that. Do I think that her friend might be a little bit pushy, knowing that the Redditor, how she feels about kids in general? Yeah. It's definitely a little bit pushy, but I don't see what the Redditor did as necessarily being a goober. You're just setting a boundary.
And that's where I absolutely agree. Like, do I think she's being harsh? Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Do I think she's being a goober? No.
We do have an edit though. She went on and said, just wanted to clear a few things up since people are asking and making assumptions. I guess that was us. Oopsie. Anna and I are close, but we're not best friends. We've always gone along and stayed in touch since college, but we don't talk every day or share everything. I care about her and I'm happy she's doing everything she always wanted. But we've never been the kind of friends who are super involved in every part of each other's lives. Also, this wasn't the first time we talked about boundaries. I've said multiple times that she should ask our mutual friend who does like kids and has babysitting experience to help out instead of me. I even offered to pay that person so Anna wouldn't feel stuck. She just kind of brushed it off every time and said things like, but you're her aunt in spirit and I just want people I trust. I do support her. I sent her gifts, brought her food, checked in during the pregnancy. I just don't want to play a parenting role. That's not the same as not caring at all. I get the new motherhood can be isolating and hard, and I feel bad if my words added to that. I do plan on reaching out to apologize for how I said it, because I wasn't trying to be mean. But I'm not going to pretend to be someone I'm not either. I think there is a way to say sorry without going back on the boundary I set. I'm just figuring out how to word it. For me, sorry, go ahead.
I think there is also another sub-trauma here. And it may be that Anna thinks that they are better friends that Redditor feels like. Anna may feel like this girl is probably one of her closest friends, while Redditor is like, we're friends, but we're like, we're not like that. And the other girl's like, she my best friend.
Yeah, I can definitely see how that might be a thing here. I think we've all been in a position where we feel closer to a friend than we actually are, and we end up looking like a goober when it doesn't pan out that way. So yeah, I agree. Anna might be seeing the Redditor as a closer friend than they actually are. Or I also was thinking when I was reading this that this might be Anna's way of trying to get closer to her friend. Obviously failing, but it might be an olive branch. It's just, hey, I want to get closer. We were friends in college. Let's become better friends. So
yes.
Honestly, I don't necessarily see what you did as bad. Obviously, this is a very forefront feature in your personality that you don't like children, you don't like being around children. And I feel Anna should have known that. Could you have come at it a little less harsh? Maybe. But I'm definitely someone who's blunt. I've been there. I said some things that came out a bit of a jerkish way in the past. So I do believe that you setting that boundary, saying, hey, I want to be your friend, but I don't necessarily want the auntie role. I just want to be a friend of the family, not a major part of this child's life. I
respect that.
I respect it. A lot of people share that position. A lot of people don't want to be around kids. A lot of people don't even care for a child at all. So you setting that boundary, I personally feel is very healthy for that friendship.
And back to the main question. Like, the first thing I said is, do I think she was harsh? Yes. Was she the goober? No. And I think she acknowledges it in the edit, right? It's like, yeah, I should apologize. I just don't know how to word it yet. But yeah, I can see how I was harsh. So absolutely not the goober. My vote is no, you're not the goober here.
No. You did everything right. You were a good friend. Like, you did bring her food. You checked in during the pregnancy. That's a lot more than a lot of...
But most people would.
Yeah, let's be honest. I think we all have friends out there who are our friends but don't even put in half an inch to the friendship, So you definitely did a lot in terms of friendship. It could have come out a little less harsh, but at least it's out there and at least you set that boundary, and you definitely should not go back on that. And you definitely should never change who you are for anyone, because in every way that just hurts you and it never ever works. But
no, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. So the next story is by sad_girl78 and it's titled, I think my friend is a terrible person. Would I be the goober if I ghost my friend?
Oh, Lord.
Hi, Reddit. I've never really posted, so I'm very sorry if this is long and hard to read. Strap in because I actually can't believe this is my life. Oh boy, eat the popcorn.
Okay.
I, 17 female, and my friend, 17 male, who we'll call Josh, have been friends a very long time, probably 5 years. That's long for a 17-year-old. But have broken contact a few times because of petty fights. The first distinct cutoff was 2 years ago because we were being childish teens and were prank calling people. He gave me this girl's number from his class and told me to shout, "So you're the one cheating with my fella." Very dumb, I know, but Josh had told me this was his friend, so I thought she was going to laugh. That did not happen. Instead, she said, "This is my name." I poo-poo myself. I did not know who this girl was. Trying to keep it clean here. On this phone call, and she said my address and told me she was going to put fireworks in my letterbox and hung up. And then I got calls from her and her cousin. I don't know how the heck they got my number. As we ran on Josh's phone with no caller ID. And they were saying they were going to beat the poo-poo out of me. Obviously, when they hung up, I freaked out and told Josh to text her and tell her I was with him and it was just a joke. He then informed me that they were actually fighting at that moment and he couldn't text her. I stopped talking to him for about a year. Okay, well, just to pause there.
Oh, teenage drama. Oh, Lord, they're so dumb.
Fireworks in a letterbox, I have to admit, that's a new one. I haven't heard that. Points for creativity. I'll give you that. To me, it automatically, just like pausing the story here, the fact that they knew you and your address is a red flag for me, considering you don't even know her, and this is a person apparently in Josh's class. So that gives me the idea that Josh might have told them beforehand that he was going to do some silly stuff like this. So this continuing, the second iconic story of me breaking contact was in March of 2024. I had just broken up with my first boyfriend, probably the worst era of my life, been there, trust me. Had just been kicked from a semi-pro football team in my country and had been very badly bullied by girls in my year and been hospitalized for self-inflicted injury. In hospital, I had stopped breathing and had to be resuscitated. Good Lord.
Yeah.
I'm not the type to talk about feelings. It makes me cringe. Same, I agree. But I had opened up to Josh and told him I was in hospital. And he told some of our friends. After the hospital, I was diagnosed with PTSD. I've been having nightmares, flashbacks, panic attacks, and developed a skin-picking disorder about 2 weeks after I'd gotten out of the hospital. I'd gotten a call from one of the girls in the group, and she had told me Josh had said to her while I was in the hospital, he said, "I don't think I would be the saddest person at her funeral." And my personal fave of what he had said to her was, "I've had a hard time, but I've never done that." I was running like a zombie, not gonna lie. Who knew almost dying was kind of traumatic, but I just ghosted him. And he made it a really big deal in our friend group. Not gonna lie, I don't even remember the first 2 months I came out of the hospital, so I kind of just accepted it and lost all my mates. I don't want to make this post a whole novel, so I'll answer any questions in the comments. Now, the final straw, after I lost all my friends, I planned to leave school. I developed very bad anxiety from the girls in my year, so the school suggested ICA instead of leaving, a partial leaving certificate. I've never heard of that.
Okay. No idea. I didn't grow up in the States.
I don't know if this is the States, if I'm honest. In ICA, I met my best friend ever, will change her name. I don't know if that's her real name, so we'll call her Tiffany. I met my best friend ever, Tiffany. She's a literal angel, and I love her with all my heart. Tiffany is a very shy person and gets awkward and attention being drawn to her. She was out with her little cousin in our town and saw Josh, and she gave a little wave to him. But instead, he shouted at her, "Hey, I said hi to you. You could at least say it back." And all the girls he was with started laughing. Tiffany shouted back, "Yeah, I said hi back." And the girls started laughing at her. The girls he was with? ? Yep, the girls that had bullied me so bad I had to leave my year and made someone want to self-exit and made me leave my year. I've been very short with Josh since, and I do not reply anymore. Now, 2024 was the worst year. I couldn't sleep. I had to quit my job. I had to quit the sport I love, became a zombie version of myself, and couldn't leave the house. And in 2025, I've grown so much. I have friends. I created my own business and finally doing well in school. I don't want closure. I don't want to hear him out. I just want to kind of leave him. So, am I the goober if I ghosted my friend and said nothing? Absolutely not. You're not the goober. That was horrible. What the hell?
Didn't you already ghosted him?
You ghosted him twice. And then they reconnected after Tiffany said hi and they laughed at her. I'm not sure, but
it's you just gotta move on. These kind of I know she's a teenager. She's just 17. This has been happening for a while now. I can absolutely understand that. But yeah, like you are moving on already. You change schools. You are doing the things you need to do to be good for yourself. So no, you're not the goober for just leaving someone who is a terrible person. Will he ever mature and grow out of all this behavior? I don't know. I've met people who stayed pretty much the same ever since high school. But no, I don't think she's the goober. This guy seems pretty bad.
Yeah, no, you are absolutely not the goober. Over the years, I've definitely learned that there's no friendship, there's no relationship with anyone, whether romantic, family, or friendship-wise, that is worth your mental health. You need to value your peace. And at 17, you've been through a world of trauma that a lot of people haven't. And you need to take time for yourself and find a good place in your life away from this stuff. And will John, like Roberto said, will he grow out of it? Maybe. I think we were all teenagers at one point, or still are, and being absolute goobtrons, doing really silly things that we look back on in 10 years and like, oh wow, I was an absolute yeah, for kind words to say. So yeah, it's amazing that it's amazing that you are doing now finally well in school, that you have your own business at 17. That's incredible. And that you have new friends. I do believe that involving this person back into your life would be more of a goober move than ghosting him. You know? Because he brought all this trauma. He was never respectful of you. He had obviously been talking to you that when you were 15, during that prank call situation. He had obviously been talking to you and gave very personal information to people. And now he's just continuously disrespecting you. So even if he 180'd his behavior, he became the best person, the next saint, I feel that if you let him back in, that trauma is going to come back. And you do not need that. No one needs that. Start fresh, move on. You are not the goober for ghosting your friend.
No, and this guy has already put you in pretty bad situations, right? Like as Belle said, it's different. One thing of making you a little prank than putting you in harm's way, giving your address to people you don't know. Like God knows what conversation he had with them about like, oh, you're just gonna scare her, blah blah blah. Like you don't know what had happened, or well, at least we don't know what had happened. So to put it in words of Donald Trump, You just have to ghost him. No one else can do it. You just have to ghost him. The best ghost. No one can ghost like you.
Oh my god.
Biden couldn't ghost him the way you're gonna ghost him. So, no, you're not the goober in this situation.
Oh my. Yeah. So I guess in the words of us and fictional Donald Trump, you are not the goober.
You are not.
Find
Absolutely
peace.
Not.
Move on. Stay with your friends that you have now. Work on your business.
And subscribe.
And yes, subscribe. So yeah, that's just our very chaotic first episode of Are You the Goober? We will try to be posting these 3 times a week, and it will be very similar to this. No editing, no filters. We just want to chit chat and talk to you guys in the future. So
until then,
adios.
Bye.